Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Coming right back at you. Um, you know, um, the last video that I make was to kind of wake you up to the reality, of this days that we are living in, which are the last day of this last human generation upon this earth. By the way, once the judgment comes, the judgment from above comes, we will not be lifted up to some kind of heaven as religions will tell you. We are earthly creatures created in the image of God Almighty, and we will be judged, and we will live on this earth, for we were meant to live on this earth for eternity. Okay? Now, I don't have to go into the story as to what happened. We all know. However, what I would like to do right now is to kind of what really matters in the last beacon of hope on this earth. Okay? Which is the United States of America. Okay? Now let me put something up here because I totally forgot. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. So, no, it was just some background music. All right, so, with no copyright issues, of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm interested in for you to understand is your own history. See, they don't teach you this history they don't teach you this history in your educational system, in the classroom, in colleges. Of course not. It's not in the best interest to do this. So I'm here to kind of glance over American history of lies and manipulations so that you can understand as to what brought us here and what exactly is taking place in America, which is the last beacon of hope upon this planet, and how everything is gonna play out very soon. Okay? First of all, I want you to understand that what I talk about here is reality. Is the truth. It's not my opinion. What I talk about here with no religion, because you already know what I think about religion. I have explained that to you many, many times. It's like Karl Marx said, religion is the opium of the people. But of course, he said it in a mockery way, because he was part of creating, pushing this concept. Because that's how world leaders have always manipulated their societies with what is called control opposition. But anyway, once again, don't forget the links that I'm going to send you. Okay? But let me just read, and then we go into the Bible and explain a couple of things to you, okay? All right, so, because the purpose of this video is I want you to make sure that you understand exactly what is happening in America, why is it happening. But before you understand the present, you must go back to the past. Because if you don't understand your past, then you don't understand how we got here and how it's going to play, everything, all is going to play out, how everything's going to play out. So just bear with me. And once again, if you noticed, of course, this channel is demonetized. And as you know, I have never asked you for anything, and I never will. I don't sell anything here. See, because the truth comes freely to you. The truth is free. Now let us say that, oh, still, I would like to support this brother, to spread out his truth even more. Then that's up to you. Then we can talk about it. But until then, no way. No freaking way. I will not ask him for anything. I will never ask him for anything. Okay? Unless it comes from straight from your heart. Because the thing is, the Creator will provide. He will always provide for this truth to go out there. Because remember what he said. This gospel, which is the truth, shall be preached unto all the world, and then shall the end come. So again, the purpose of this video is, like it says in John 8, verse 32, and they shall know the truth, and the truth shall set them free. See, once you know the truth, once you understand everything, you don't have no excuse not to be saved out of the lies, out of this madness that we are going through right now. And then you will have a strong relationship with your Creator. Okay? And you will not be part of no religion, because remember, religion, they sleep with the government. There's no such thing as separation in church and state and all of that. It's all a lie. Okay? In fact, if you Google it and you go 501c3, the religions, the mega churches preachers, man, they don't pay no taxes due to this IRS code 501c3. So while we work hard for money and the IRS rob us blind, those people, religious leaders, they don't pay. I think I have explained that to you as to why that is. Because they're part of the same. I mean, these religious institutions are part of the evil agenda that is going to destroy America. Okay? But I want you, now that things are getting interesting in America and it started to rain in America, I want you to be saved out of her. I want you to understand why America has behaved in this manner. As I go through her history, okay, and okay, and where she mentioned in the Bible again. I told you that. Okay, it's on Revelation 13, starting on chapter 11. It speak of the two beasts right there. The first beast, which is the Roman Catholic Church, and then the second beast, which start on verse 11, chapter 13, Revelation. It talks about it. But anyway, let us keep going. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember what I said on, I have said on my videos here, my previous videos, that there were 16 books taken out of the Bible by the Roman Catholic Church. Okay? Guess what? Speaking of America, okay, and I made the title this, Politics and the American Experience. See, this nation is supposedly 244 years of independence. Did you know that there were 8 presidents before George Washington? And I'm going to also explain to you as to why George Washington was considered the first president of the United States. which is it's public knowledge. Okay, but here they are. Here are their names and how long they served. Let's start with John Hanson. He served between 1721. Okay, hold on one second. Yeah, 1721. 1781 and 1783. I'm sorry, sir. 1721. Yeah, John Hanson served between 1721 and 1783. Okay, so this guy he had absolute power. Number 2, Elias Boudinot. He served between 1782 and 1783. Okay, he was actually he served less than 1 year. 1783 and 1783. He served like 13, 11 months. Number 3, Thomas Mifflin. He served between 1783 and 1784. Richard Henry Lee served in the United States between 1784 and 1785. John Hancock. He served between 1785 and 1786. Nathan Goldman. He served between 1786 and 1787. Number 7, Arthur St. Clair. Arthur St. Clair. He served between the year 1787 and 1788. 8, Cyrus Griffin. He served between the year 1788 and 1789. Okay? Now, here's the lie that has been shown to you, ladies and gentlemen, that has been taught to you in your public school system. They tell you that George Washington was the first president of the United States. No, he wasn't. I just proved it to you, and you can prove it to you by doing your own studies. Now, here's why he was. Well, there are 2 reasons. First of all, he was the first president under the created United States Constitution, which was written by the Freemasons. So who are they going to exalt as their first, as the first president of the United States? George Washington, who was a Freemason. And you may say, well, Ruben, what's Freemasonry? Well, Freemasonry is you can put it nicely. You want to use fancy words, but it's a satanic organization. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let me give it to you raw right here. This whole world, this whole system of things is a satanic system. We live under a satanic matrix upon this planet, whether you want to believe it or not. And everything is a lie. Everything has been a lie to you, and I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna prove some of them to you right here. People actually worked. They are conditioned. They are psychologically worked up to believe something. They're deceived. Okay? So there's the reason as to why George Washington, was considered the first president of the United States. You don't want to believe that he was a Freemason? I might send you the images of that, or maybe a link, so that you see. I want you to wake your ass up, because I want you to be saved from this, not through religion, but you having a strong relationship with your Creator. You're looking at a man that should have been dead many times over. There was one time that I lost everything in a fire when I used to, because I grew up in New York all my life. But yeah, here I am. There I go by the grace of God, explaining this to you from another state. Here we go. So that's the first lie. Okay? The United States was lied to by telling you, oh, the first president of the United States was George Washington. That's the first lie. Okay? From the very beginning of this nation, it's no longer a nation, it's a corporation. The second lie happened back in 1621. It happened even before. Okay? It happened even before the creation of the United States. It happened in 1621. The Thanksgiving Massacre. When the people killed a lot of Native American Indians. Okay? Okay? So actually that was the first lie. You may say, well, that was the first, yeah, when they conquered this continent. When they conquered this land of the United States. And ripped it off the native hands, ripped it off the native hands. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the natives, and you can do your research on this, then the natives are actually descendants from the tribes of Israel. And their name is, their tribe name is not Indians or Native American Indians. Their tribe name is God. God. The tribe of God. G-A-D. Anyway, let's keep going. Number 2. Actually, number 3. Okay, I'm just giving you some lies that were the reason I started with politics is because that's what we're going to really kind of continue talking about this. But the first lie happened when the conquerors came into the United States and killed a lot of Indians, okay? The number 3, there was a meeting. And I want you to understand, I want you to see how this nation has been worked. It has been brought to its knees. And it goes to show you that this nation is the most naive nation upon this planet. And I'm going to show you. And you correct me if I'm wrong. Here we go. Now, I do this out of love. Everything that I explain to you here is out of love. And everything that I explain here, you can go and Google it yourself. I already did my research. I've been knowing this for years. I've been talking about this for years, including the other channels that YouTube deleted. Do you know that YouTube have taken like 2 channels away from me? Yeah, the truth is hard to swallow, my friend. This world doesn't welcome truth. It doesn't want an honest discussion. Here we go. There was a meeting back in Jekyll Island in Georgia in 1910. And the meeting was a Luciferian plan to rob the United States blind by establishing the banking system, which created the Federal Reserve Bank and the IRS in 1913. In the month of December, actually the Federal Reserve was created in the month of December 23rd, while everybody was away celebrating the pagan holiday called Christmas, which in turn brought the Great Depression in 1914. Okay? So I want you to understand how the United States has been worked. Okay? So that you can understand as to how we got here. So again, in 1913, 6 men had a secret meeting, top secret meeting, in Jekyll Island, Georgia, where they had a Luciferian plan, a satanic plan to rob the United States. Well, guess what? Remember how they work. They create a problem, they watch for people's reaction, then they bring you the solution. It's the same old Hegelian dialectic. That's the modern name for it. But they have always played this. All empires and all government. The 1914 was a mean to justify the Federal Reserve existence, which Woodrow Wilson signed on December 23rd, 1913. The Federal Reserve Act. Woodrow Wilson was the president at that time. And these are the evil barons who owns the Federal Reserve Bank. Goldman Sachs, the Rockefellers, Lehman and Kuhn, Loebs of New York, the Rothschilds of Paris and London, the Warburgs of Hamburg, the Laser of Paris, and the Israel Moses chiefs of Rome. These are the people that actually lends money to the United States of America. The banking system in the United States has this nation in its pockets. That's why they're independent. You cannot tell them what to do. No government can tell them. Number 4, the first US dollar was printed back in that very same year, 1914. And in 1919, it became the world's reserve currency. It was no longer the pound. The whole world certified back in 1944. Okay? So what happened? Those who owns the money in a society can start wars, because wars and human blood brings them more riches, makes them more powerful, makes them money. And that's why these people are rich. I mean, Goldman Sachs, the Rockefeller, Lehman Brothers and Kuhn, Loebs of New York, the Rothschilds, they own and they run Wall Street, okay? So what happened? In World War I, they instigated war, because that's what they're good at that. And I'm going to give you an example later on. They instigated war which started in Europe between 1914 and 1918, which was World War I. The wars to end all wars. Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Then World War II began in 1939 and it ended in 1945. Okay? These people work in numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Numbers mean a lot to this Freemason in numerology. Freemasons number, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they do that as an honor to their God. So 21 years later, of the first war, which ended in 1918, in 1939, World War II began. You put 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is a very significant number for them. in their Sumatra. Okay? 1950. Okay, so 5 years later, well, guess what? Another money-making machine. It keeps going. In 1950, the Korean War started. 5 years later, all right, it started. And there they are. They were, so you know what they do? They instigate war and they sell arms to both parties. To the opposing factions, opposing armies. They know that their God Satan loves blood, human blood, and that's their God. So here we go. 1955 and between 1955 and 1975, the Vietnam War started. Again, they instigated the war. Let me give you an example. It was the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which started in 1964. That's when the United States went all in 1964. Even though it started, there was the Korea. I mean the Asian wars right there. Cambodia. I mean you ever saw that movie Killing Fields? The Killing Fields. Sad. Okay. So the United States went all in 1964 by an accident, which is, you may say, what is the Gulf of Tonkin incident? Well, Google it, but I'm going to tell you something. It was something that, it was a fleet of boats. It was actually one of them that supposedly put a bomb in a ship, in the United States ship that was there. And then that's when the United States, okay. In fact, they came up with what is called something, the Gulf of Tonkin Act, to start the war. And there again, they started making money. Then, in 2003, because I'm not going to talk about the other skirmishes that happened. Let's go to the big one, the Iraq War in 2003, based upon another lie. Because of Saddam Hussein supposedly had weapons of mass destruction, WMD, and exploiting the emotions of people that went to a traumatic event of 9/11, accusing Osama bin Laden. Okay? Did you know that Osama bin Laden was accused 2 hours after the Twin Towers, after the plane went into the Twin Towers? I know, I saw it. I saw the, okay? I was there. Okay? But breaking news. Did you also know that Osama bin Laden was a CIA agent whose CIA name is Tim Osman. Tim, T-I-M, last name O-S-M-A-N, Tim Osman. He was a CIA agent. Now you may say, well, this is crazy. What are you talking about? Well, remember when the Russians invaded Afghanistan? So the United States was there fighting them. Because let us not forget, 92% of the poppy leaves, which is the biggest drug trade in the world, comes out of Afghanistan. Now you may say, what the heck is poppy leaves? Well, that is what people use to make heroin with. And they also make the name escapes me that they use in the hospital that they make for painkillers. The name escapes me right now. All right? But yes, that's the leaves, that's the flower that they use to make heroin, which is the most expensive drugs in the world. So I want you to understand as to how evil the United States is. Okay? The United States is not there in Afghanistan to save oil, to save oil or whatever. No. They know what's up there. Okay? Here we go. Okay, so Tim Osman was, again, he was, because he died. In fact, he died on the very same day that 9/11 happened. And there was family that because the government was doing some business with them, the only airplane that were allowed to fly out of the United States were his family, because they knew that people were going to come after them. You understand? Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is no joke. See, you got to understand world history. I'm just giving you kind of a glance of the history of the United States history, so that you can understand as to, wait a minute. So she is the second beast. Duh. I showed you that in the last video. Well, let's keep going. Now, here we are with a worldwide pandemic, okay, that have destroyed the very essence of human relationship. You can no longer hug. You can no longer kiss. You can no longer, if you have a big family, then you have a problem. Kids got to go to school with masks on, with a virus that they know, ladies and gentlemen. And even the CDC have said this. Even Dr. Fauci have said it. I'm going to try to see if I find the article where he said that this is like a flu. Now you may say, well, then, Ruben, can you explain this to me? Well, how come people are dying all over the place from this disease? Well, look what they're doing. They've been going at it the wrong way by design. Remember what I said about sacrificing human blood. Everybody's playing their parts now. In the states that I live in Minnesota, ever since they started doing testing, there have been a lot of positive cases. They killing people, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, if there were no diseases, there wouldn't be any need for doctors. They are killing people left and right. Not because people have given up. They're giving in because of the fear. You see, when they have exploited fear, which is a very strong human emotion, and in fact, there are many people that are waiting for a vaccine that they know is not going to come. In fact, Pfizer just came out with a 90% effective vaccine. But did you know what happened? The guy that came up with the vaccine, he saw all his stock, 62%, and left. Now, why would you do that? Because he knows the vaccine is not going to be used. It's all a lie. He doesn't want to be held responsible for the side effects. Because what kills you is the treatment. In fact, I've known people that have died. Let me give you an example. My aunt, my political aunt, she died of cancer. She didn't have cancer. She fell. She ended up in the hospital. Guess what? They discovered that she had cancer. And you know what killed her? You got it. You guessed it. The radiation treatment. That's what killed her. Because the more radiation, the more cells it destroys. And then the other bad cells comes and kills you. So they killed her. So here we are with a world pandemic and social disturbances like riots everywhere, because you got people everywhere calling for social justice. So now you see how George Floyd and all of these young men that have been shot by the cops, by the police, which is, by the way, a Freemasonic, and you can see it even in the symbols. In fact, Confucius said it best. A philosopher out of China, many generations ago, he said that society are not rules by laws and rules. No, societies are ruled by symbols and numbers. By symbols. See, and that's exactly what it is. Okay? So if you see the insignia and you see the symbolic in the symbols, but they don't know. People that want to be a cop, want to become a cop, don't know this thing. I almost became a cop in New York before 9/11. So you understand? It's time to wake up, people. So we're no longer humans. We are walking around with a muzzle in our mouth and nose, okay? What they call mask or face shield, okay? And not only that, but I feel so bad for third world countries, like for instance the Philippines. Those people, these barons that controls those nations' economic system, man, those people in the Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, they're required not to just use a mask, but also a face shield. And that is exactly what is making people sick. And then when they go to the hospital, hey, you get somebody with this pandemic, okay? Then you get 13,000. You treat them, you actually intubate them, which the tubing kills you. Then you get 39,000. Let's keep going. It's sad. This war is about to end because we're falling in love with death. In fact, the Hispanic people, which is my heritage, they celebrate El Día de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. You understand how ridiculous? You see where we have come to? How low can we go? We celebrate death, really? We should celebrate life. Thank God every day for another day above ground. So what I want you to understand is that this pandemic and the disturbance that you have seen, that we have seen over here in Minnesota, okay, destroying the businesses, because you got young men asking, no justice, no peace. They don't understand. They're going with people, followers. They don't have any leaders. They have people financing their organization. Because, by the way, Black Lives Matter is a Marxist organization. I'm going to send you a link with one of the so-called founders. Says it. They are trained Marxists. But yet you got people, you got people supporting these people. You got big corporations. You got sports complex. You got Hollywood. You got politicians. Oh man, you name it. And then the last final act of this horrific real life movie called The United States of America, and everyone is playing their part. The media, which comes from the Latin word mediums, which is, you communicate with evil spirit. No wonder the media is so evil. Okay? So what they do, and look what they're doing, they are fueling the flames of division in the United States. They don't care about you. They don't care about news. They go beyond fake news. Their purpose is to shape. They know how naive people are. I knew this. I found that out when I used to be a door-to-door salesman about 40 years ago. 40 years ago in New York. Okay? So everybody is playing their part. You got George Soros financing Black Lives Matter organization and Antifa. They are there for the riots, and the riots will increase because ladies and gentlemen, and this is the final what I wrote here. While the former Vice President George Biden, whom called himself President-elect, and the current President Donald Trump are playing the mask with this election of fraud allegations. Okay? This is what you call control opposition. If you ever had a reason to wake your ass up from what I've been telling you here, not to believe in politicians, not to vote because your votes don't count, then this is a perfect good reason, except that it's kind of late for the United States. It has been played. That's why they make a mockery out of people's ignorance. They show you what they're going to do in The Simpsons. They tell you in the Illuminati cards, okay, that were created back in 1995. They tell you in your face. And yet we are still asleep. I mean, to this day, people think that the United States can never. No, I don't think. This is a conspiracy theory. Oh man, no. This is a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. That the United States brought down the Twin Towers and attacked its own Pentagon? You betcha. And killed all those people in the airplanes. Yes. And those people that made phone calls from supposedly from the air never did. Cell phone you couldn't make cell phone calls back in those days. Now you can. Here we go. So you got a game of control opposition, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? America is being played because America is at its last breath. Is there hope for America? No, there's hope only for individuals who make a change, who make a decision, who ask their God for forgiveness of their sins, who fast, and who establish a strong relationship with your Creator. That's all. I know. I am a living proof of that. I am a real God witness. Okay? Not even Jehovah's Witness, because they're a bunch of fake. All religions are fake. Now, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this video is going to be into two parts. Okay? All right? So let us go into some verses from the Bible, and then we are done. And everything is about money to these people. Okay. Let us go to Matthew 19. Matthew 19, verse 24. And again I said unto you, now let us start in verse 23. Then said Yahushua, whom the word called Jesus Christ, Yahushua unto his disciple, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. 24. And again I said unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. And the richest people on this planet know this, because that's why they worship their God, whom they call Lucifer. That's how deceived they are. Because that's not his real name anymore. That was his name when he was in heaven. Okay, when he was with the kingdom, right now he's called Satan's, which means opposite, the devil. That old serpent called the devil, okay? Staying in Matthew, let us go to 6, Matthew 6. Here we go. Chapter 6, verse 1. Take heed that you do your alms before men. That you do not your alms, that means your donations, before men to be seen of them. Otherwise, you have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, number 2, therefore, when thou dost thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues or in the street, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen.